like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Stage is Set. Now, the whole world was put on lockdown by the COVID-19 thing to set up those 5G towers so that they can have the infrastructure to make everything digital and bring about this cashless society. Then they started opening everything up, and a situation with this George Floyd individual happened, and all of a sudden now you see this massive chaos that's going on all throughout America and the major cities of America. Now, that's being done right now to get the people's minds off of that coronavirus, because nobody's thinking about or really talking that much about that. But they're talking about a second wave coming, pandemic 2 or second wave coming. And, you know, since the people that are out there rioting, looting, protesting are not keeping a so-called social distance, as they're saying, what they're doing is they're saying that that's causing the coronavirus to spread. But like I said, it's not really talked about too much, which is all setting the stage for phase 2, you know, of this agenda of the so-called Illuminati. And what it's doing is, as stores are slowly opening up, there's certain places that are not really accepting cash anymore. You know, a lot of places they rather deal with credit cards, debit cards, and things of that nature than to deal with that dirty cash, as they call it. Now, I've been going to this particular and this is all in the spirit, brothers, you know, sisters. I don't have anything really planned, so just bear with me, and the Lord's will, this will be an edifying lesson. I've been going to this one gas station for a while now, for a while. I could say maybe a year, maybe longer. And there's this one older Edomite there, you know, that him and, you know, others that work there, but him in particular I'm speaking about, because when people go to pay for their gas, they give him cash. He licks his thumb so that he can count the money and give back the change. He's been doing that for a while. He hasn't been out with the so-called coronavirus. He hasn't gotten sick from the contaminated money. You know, so we know that passing it through the so-called cash is all bullshit, you know? And, you know, I just kind of just looked at that today again, you know, and I just started shaking my head, you know, but it's pretty much all set up to bring in this cashless society, because they want to push that mark of the beast, you know, which they will be pushing, you know, very, very soon. It's already out there, you know, the infrastructure is out there. Matter of fact, as we speak right now, it's June. And I don't hear anybody talking about it's June, ain't no microchip, because the infrastructure is already there. Like I said at the beginning of the lesson, the whole world was shut down by the COVID-19 thing to push these 5G towers around the world so that they can have the infrastructure for digital currency, you know, and it'll be easier for them to track people. They won't have any dead spots, you know, in the major areas of the world. And this is Esau, you know, trying to play the role of the Most High, because they have what's called the God complex. I'm going to pull out this precept, and then I'm going to see if this dictionary, this offline dictionary that I have here, has the definition of God complex on it, and we can start off with that, you know. So, you know, I've just been kind of just meditating on that, you know, waiting for the spirit to hit me to do a lesson. And this is what, you know, been kind of just been rolling around in my head, so to speak. You know, so I nah, it's not coming up. You know, I figured this would be a good topic to deal with because, see, right now these riots are just taking people's minds off of the economy, off of the corona. You know, which these devils do things in stages. You know, they accomplish a diligent search. The heart is deep. They're meditating, you know, and working their magic on the left hand side, which is, you know, the Most High's left hand side. And like Elder Apostle Gabar said Saturday, which he's been saying for a while, and we say it from time to time, you know, we give Esau too much credit. Esau's not that wise. Esau's not that crafty. You know, it's the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai that gives them that craft on the left hand side to do what they're doing. And it's like almost like a master chess player at work, because the bottom line is that the Lord is orchestrating everything that we see. So let's start off here in Isaiah 14 and then take it from there and see how long the Spirit allows this to go. Isaiah 14 and 21 is a beautiful day out here. I'm sorry, not 21. Isaiah 14, and I'll start at 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend. Matter of fact, I started 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Now, the word Lucifer means old day star or old morning star, which is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It's talking about the physical counterpart on the earth, which have the light of this world. And with that light of this world, they've actually been able to keep the world in darkness for a good portion of time, ever since they've been in power. But now we're at the end where the Lord is revealing their every move, you know, and he's showing us what's going on, you know, blow by blow, and he's allowing us to speak on these things. So the scriptures are saying, how art thou fallen to the ground, O Lucifer? Because at one time you had a prestigious empire, you know, you were sitting pretty. But now that your plans are being revealed by the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai through the prophets, and also through so-called truthers out there that are bringing out pieces and bits and parts of your agenda, your whole your hand is open. Your hand, you know, we already know the hand that you have. You know, it's not a secret anymore. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. So the Lord is telling the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, to sit on the ground because there is no throne. Because this power that you have is slowly slipping out of your hands. Like the Lord, like the Asaph said in Psalm 73, that the Lord set them in slippery places. And those slippery places is that you having a task to do, you know, to go through an obstacle course, and there's a part of the obstacle course that there's a tree that you got to climb to hit a bell or something like that, or grab something from up there to make it to the next part of the mission of that obstacle course. But that the part of it is that the pole has all types of oil on it, and every time you try to climb it, you slip right back down. And the more you try to climb it, the more you slip, because the more that oil sticks to your clothes, sticks to your skin. Before you know it, you can't get up that pole. So the Lord set this devil in a slippery place where, or when you're standing on ice, and you're trying to keep your balance, and every time you move, your feet kind of slip from under you. So this is how the Lord set them up. Although they have the power of the earth and it's been given into their hand, they're still in a slippery place because they don't realize that they're losing their power. And this is why in Jeremiah it speaks about how has the hammer of the whole earth been broken, because the hammer of the earth represents America and their military, you know, and the power structure and the influence that they've had on the world. But that influence and that power is slowly being stripped from them by the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So you're not going to be pampered anymore. You know, you've been living deliciously. When you read further down in that chapter, you've been living deliciously. You've been living it up. You've been doing good, you know. But all that you've done and the way that you've got this prosperity was through wicked gains, you know. And we know what the scriptures say about these wicked gains. Let's go real quick to the Apocrypha in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 10th chapter and the 8th verse. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. If we stop and analyze those three things, and we look on the earth at who's committing these things, you know, of course, the nations do certain things, but by far, the violence that goes on around the world is perpetrated by the Edomites of America, the United States, so-called United States. They're the ones that have weighed the violence of their hand around the earth. So it says, because of unrighteous dealings, and there has not been a more unrighteous people on the planet than these Edomites. It says, injuries, and that's all they do is cause injuries. And riches got by deceit. And how did they get their wealth? By deceit. How did they build up America? By blood. How did they gain a foothold and power around the world? By shedding of blood, by deception, by oppression, by deceiving the people of those different lands into thinking that they were going to get a fair shake and have a better way of living, and by America giving them a certain amount of money for their infrastructure, only to be funneled back out of that country by the different corporations that are set up in those countries. And that's how they do it. And this is how they, once they get in there, those large corporations start to manipulate the people that are in office. And before you know it, the people in office are writing laws and bills for the gain of these corporations, and not at all for the help of the people as they promised them. So those are riches got by deceit. And how did they get the riches? From the so-called North American Indians, so-called Seminole Indians, so-called Mexican Indians, and the rest of the so-called Indians of this side of the world, which are the Northern Kingdom, by deceit, by treachery, by robbery, murder, rape. It says the kingdom, because of these things, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's why we read in Daniel the 7th chapter, Daniel the 2nd chapter, how these different empires would rise and fall. They had a moment to rise and a moment to rule, and they had their moments to fall. And this is all being orchestrated, and there's no different today. The only kingdom that will ever be established on the planet Earth that will never fall is the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is a kingdom that is going to be, that the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians are going to be joint heirs with him in this kingdom. That's the only kingdom that has not been prophesied to have an end. So it says, so that's it on that. So let's move on. Let's go back to Isaiah 47. And I'm going to go to another point here. Just bear with me while I find the verse. I believe that's in the book of Isaiah 47, where it says that they live deliciously. I believe there's one in Revelation 14. Just bear with me. All right, so I didn't see it in. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just gonna do a word search real quick. Let's see. I know there's one in Revelation, and maybe I'm just getting them mixed up with Isaiah 47. Yep, it's Revelation 18 and 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. So we're reading in Isaiah 47 the pretty much the downfall and the falling of America and the destruction of America because of the way that they got everything. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter says, woe unto you that establish a city by blood. Because if you establish a city by blood, what do you think is going to happen? Your blood is going to have to be shed because of the blood that you shed. You got your gains by other people's miseries. You know, those are ill-gotten gains that you got. It wasn't something that you achieved by the right way and hard work and dedication. You got it by deception, robbery, thievery, murder, rape, so on and so forth, and many other underhanded things that you've done by this different legislation that you pass to take substance and inheritances and lands away from the people. So it says, how much you have lived, glorified itself. Matter of fact, let me just go to it. How much you have glorified itself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And this is what we're seeing or reading in the book of Isaiah 47. And that's why they parallel each other. Isaiah 47 and Revelation 18. Those are like link-up scriptures. When you read Isaiah 47, when you read Revelation 18, they go hand in hand. Revelation 18 goes a little more in detail of the merchandise and how they're making money and doing business with the merchants of the earth and how they will be destroyed. It goes a little more in detail in that. And in Isaiah 47, it goes more into detail of how they're in power and how they manipulate that power, you know, how they misuse that power, how they live in carelessly. And eventually towards the end of the chapter, they start falling with their enchantments and eventually destroyed. So verse 8 says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. See, did it not say in Revelation 18, I'm sorry, in Isaiah 47 that the Lord is going to destroy them suddenly? So it says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, meaning all of America will be set on fire. Babylon the Great. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So it's the Most High that's judging. So when you see Esau working his magic on the left-hand side, through his media, through his technology, through his philosophies and religions, that's the Most High working on the left-hand side. And it's true. We give Esau too much credit. The Most High is putting the setting the pawns on this chessboard. And the world is the chessboard. And the peoples are the pieces. Just like we can't make moves and we can't break things down unless the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash inspires us. These devils can't make a move on the left-hand side unless Yahweh Bashem Yahushai inspires them and moves them. So pretty much what we're witnessing on earth is a rigged game. And we already know the outcome because we've read the scriptures, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had mercy on us to not only open our minds to see it, but actually be able to speak about it and break it down and give the sense of it. You see, reading on, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Why? Because they're not going to be able to make any more money. They don't care about the welfare of America if the Edomites are doing well or any of the people that are here are doing well. They just care of is the financial or infrastructure of America still intact where we can make money. So when it burns up, it's not gonna be a thing of they're gonna be sorrowful for America because of what happened to her. They're gonna be sorrowful because they're not gonna be able to make any more money. And they have drunken of that wine and that deception and the manipulative ways and underhanded ways that they make money from people, especially Jake, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. So this is what's happening. So it says, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So this place is going to go out in 1 hour. As big as America is, as fruitful as America is, even though the earth is broken down, there's still places on the earth that are a paradise, you know? But in 1 hour, 500 square feet, 5,000 square miles of land is going to be burnt up from east to west, from north to south. 3,000 miles from east to west and 2,000 miles from north to south. All burnt up in 1 hour. From the White House to New York, to the Empire State Building, to the Panhandles, to Texas, to California, Seattle, Washington, Florida, and everything in between. All the major cities, all the smaller cities, all the towns and municipalities, and villages, all wiped out in 1 hour. Suburbs and the herbs and the suburbs, all wiped out in 1 hour. The different food places, supermarkets and big box stores. I believe that's the proper term. Elder Apostle Tahar was using it this weekend. And all of the different businesses, the different car dealerships, the plants that make weapons for the military, that make stealth bombers and helicopters and missiles and bullets and guns, all of that be destroyed. Anywhere in America will be destroyed. If anyone is on the soils of America, whether they're above ground or below ground, they will be destroyed. They will not make it, because it's in Jeremiah 50 or 51 or both. It said that there shall not be any inhabitants of this land. And once the smoke clears and everything, settles down, so to speak, all that will be here are unclean animals, birds, reptiles, so on and so forth, or beasts, And that is the future of this place. And this is what happens when a nation becomes wicked. And you would think that this place would learn from ancient empires, but the thing about it is, although they know all that history, they're still stupid, because they think that they're the ones controlling their destiny, and they're not. It's the Most High that's controlling their destiny. Let me get real quick the book of Proverbs, chapter, I believe that's the 20th chapter or the 24th chapter. 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So the Most High is the one that's conducting and moving man the way that they should go. And even these empires that are ruling, are being manipulated by the Most High, and they're being moved into position, because the Most High is the ultimate producer, the ultimate director, and he's moving the pieces into place, just like a director or a producer of a movie has a vision, and they choose the right actors to play these different parts, and they put them into certain positions to where the movie can be realized. So we're seeing the realization of the Most High's ultimate movie, which is found within the pages of the Bible that people talk so much shit about, but don't realize that this book, like Elder Apostle Tahar says, is a living instrument. These words are life. They're alive. And this is why when they leap off the pages of this book and start to take hold on the earth, it's so vivid. And it's so, you could see it clearly. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. Why? Because the words of the pages of this book are leaping out and actually doing the things that are written in these on these pages, because it's the Most High that's causing them to do this. It says, because the Lord said, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So there's going to be a prosperous way for the Lord's words. So the Most High is the ultimate producer. He is the one that is moving all of the pieces into place. So this whole thing with the riots going on, this is the Lord's doing, you know, and the riots, pretty much what they're doing is they're taking the people's minds off of the economy. They're taking the people's mind off of the coronavirus so that they can blame this insurrection on the people rioting and looting, which they started anyway, on this next wave of the pandemic, which the next wave of the pandemic could well be where they shut down or move cash completely out of the way, because the infrastructure is already there. That's why they shut the world down, to put the 5G towers all over the world, to get the proper infrastructure for this digital currency or digital world that they want to bring in. And this is why when we read back in Isaiah chapter 14 and 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's what they did. They weakened the nations. They have whatever Esau did on the earth was not to help strengthen anyone. It's to help strengthen himself and weaken other nations. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, which they did that. How did they do that? By their satellites, by their helicopters, by their shuttles, by their planes. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. And they do that when they put up those satellites and those space stations out in orbit. It says, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, which is who? The nation of Israel, and the sides of the north, North America. This is North America. This is where the Israelites will be gathered from to be delivered. They will be gathered from the four corners of the earth, but a major portion of Israelites that make up the 144,000 with the 1/3 will be delivered from here in America. And the elect that are around the world will be delivered also. But this is a major hub. There's a reason why the truth came out of One West in New York, in Harlem, which would spiritually be Jerusalem, so to speak. You know, and that's where the truth came out of. This word that you see that's being spoken throughout the four corners of the earth, broadcasting right before you, even right now, in different videos that brothers put up, it came out of Harlem, One West, from beginning from a man called Elder Abba Bivens, which we believe is Elijah the prophet coming back and John the Baptist coming back to turn the hearts of the children back to the Father, because no one else did that. And the word that you see going out started there with a few men that taught the word, and others came in a different perspective hours that they had to come in, like the parable of the penny. And now you see in the 11th hour, there's full bloom laborers in the vineyard, and the labor and the fruits can be seen worldwide, because the Lord is manipulating the words of of this book to speak and do what they have to do. So it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. They did that. I will be like the Most High. And this is why they have everything in place. So they're thinking behind the scenes that they're looking at the people and laughing at them because of these riots. They're laughing at these people that are speaking about this agenda, that think they have it sewed up and think they know exactly what's happening. They're laughing at those people, but they don't understand that the Most High up in the heavens is laughing at them. Let's go real quick to the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, the 1st verse. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So these heathen are raging, beginning with Esau, because the higher ups among these nations, they are all a part of that agenda. Esau being on the top, as we read in the book of Psalms, 83rd chapter. That's the conspiracy chapter. All right, so-called conspiracy. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and against his anointed, Yahushai, and the rest of the elect of the Lord, saying, let us break their bands asunder. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to break the bands asunder. A band is something that holds things together. We are the kingdom. And they're trying to destroy that. They don't want Jake to wake up. This is why they have different divisions. They have agents. They have agent provocateurs. They have spies. They have Jesuits. They have different philosophical people out there to push different agendas. And when you look at Jake as a whole, Jake is into all type of madness out there, from Buddhism to madnessism, you know. But that's all orchestrated by the Lord on the left-hand side, because the Most High is using this devil to sift out the ones that he doesn't want. And it's just that simple. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. So the Most High is up there laughing at you because you think that you have, the upper hand. And you think that your agenda is going right according to plan, which it is, because it's according to the plans of the Most High, not according to your plans. Because if it was up to you, you would already had this in place. But it's not up to you, it's up to the Lord. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, because this word that's being spoken eventually will come to pass, and the destruction will be evident. It says, and vex them in his sore displeasure, because the Lord is going to vex their endeavor, their agenda, this enterprise that they have, that they've been working so hard for hundreds of years. And they finally seeming like they're going to establish this agenda, but it's going to be smashed down by the King of Terrors, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's going to smash down your sandcastle, Esau. That's why the scriptures say, who is this that leadeth me into the strong city, into Edom? Because it's the Lord that set you up, gave you that power, gave you the technology, gave you those missiles, gave you that strength, gave you that military power, and it's him that's going to take you down when he sends his son Yahushai and the angels back with the chariots to go full ham on you, so to speak. All right, or should I say full lamb? Yet have I set my king, yet have I set my king upon Mount, my holy hill of Zion. So Yahushai is going to be magnified on the earth. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will be magnified on the earth, and the Israelites will be magnified once again on the earth with a greater glory than we had back even in the past. In the greatness, the most greatest part of our life, the most greatest part of our history, this is going to be even greater than that. All right, so it says, I will declare the decree, the Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. It's going into Yahushai. So let's go back to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And this is why they shut down the world. This is why they use a so-called pandemic, which they call plandemic, to push this agenda. This is why they set up the 5G towers. This is why they have the technology of the RFID chip, the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. This is why everything is playing out the way it's playing out, because they have that agenda. They're trying to be like the Most High so that they can have the world in subjection unto him, so that they can watch everybody's, their every move, their every thought, from the things that they eat, to the things that they think, to the things that they drink, to the things that they do, to their every movement. You see? It's coming to you live. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, meaning you're going to be brought down to a very low estate. That's why it says back in Isaiah 47, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because you're going to come down from that lofty state that you're in, that manipulative, rich, um, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Spoiled, state that you're in. You're going to be brought down from that. You're going to be brought down from that. You're going down, Esau. So you're getting your last licks in, and you're going to do some serious damage, because the Lord is going to use you to do that serious damage. You're his sword, but at the end of the day, the Lord is going to take you down. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's go to Psalms 17. So you're not doing this of your own volition, as they say. You're doing what the Lord made you to do and is making you to do. This is our Psalm 17. I'll start at 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings, because we're going to need that protection from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because this man is too strong. This man is a demon. He's a devil. He's too strong. We don't have any might or power except for our faith and belief and hope in the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, based off of the words that are written in this book. It says, from the wicked that oppress me, and they do oppress us. They oppress us physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. It's a constant oppressive state that you find yourself in under the rule of this devil. And that's why it says that when they stop oppressing, they shall be oppressed. It says, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. And you see that. Look at all the different lynchings. And before Jake was lynched and brought here in slavery, the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom suffered a great deal under these devils. A great oppression. And Judah caught mad hell. Benjamin and Levi, but Judah caught some hell. And Levi's catching mad hell out there because they revolted against Esau. So it says, they are enclosed in their own fat because they are comfortable. They have want for nothing, especially these international bankers. They're shielded from any hardship, financial hardship, because they stole everything. So they insulated themselves, just like fat insulates you and keeps you warm. They have insulated themselves from the hardships of life. It says, with their mouth they speak proudly, and that's why they speak proudly, because they have the money financially to brag or boast, because whatever situation they find themselves in, they can get themselves out of financially. But you're not going to be able to get yourself financially out of what the Lord's going to bring upon you. Let's go from there to oh snap. No, that's not it. What's the it's I thought it was Proverbs 11, or is it 16 and 1? Nope, that's not it. Something, nope. Everybody, nope. Yeah, Proverbs, it was right. They went right to it. Proverbs 11 and 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. So riches do not profit in the day of wrath. So you can get yourself out of many different situations. You can get away with murder, which you do, because you're financially stable and you can pay people off. But you're not going to be able to pay yourself off or pay your way through this wrath that's going to come from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai upon you, once the Lord really fully opens up on you. So going back to Psalms 17 and 11, they have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. And why do they do that? Because they are proud and they have the power to do so. They're in the power seat. So they can look down upon you. They look down upon us. It says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were, a young lion lurking in secret places. And that's what we see. We see Esau mounting up and pretty much rolling up on Jake, just like lions and leopards and tigers and all that are getting ready to pounce on the prey. But they don't understand that the Lord is going to deliver a certain amount of Israelites that are the elect out of your grip, out of your power. And that's what you're not counting on, because you're a carnal man. You don't see things spiritually. You only see things tangibly. That's why you have to have proof of everything, because you don't have an ounce of faith, because that's not you. The soul which is lifted up in him is not upright. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, because only Yahweh Bashem Yahushai can take this devil down. It says, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So we need deliverance from this devil, from his craftiness, from his agenda, from his enterprise, from his plans and his counsels that he's pushing around the world. Otherwise, there's no hope. Our only hope is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, from men which are thy hand. So the Lord made them his hand. The Lord, there's a reason why Esau was given the blessing of the sword, to take peace from the earth, which he's done, to have a rule on the earth with an iron grip, which they have. That draconian measure. Remember, Meyer Amschel Bar said, give me control of a nation's money, and I care now who makes the laws. Now we see what he meant, because everything is in their favor now. All the laws that are in place are in their favor. The people that pass the laws and these different legislations, they're in the pocket of these international bankers. And if any of them dare try to bite the hand that feeds them, guess what? Something bad, or something real fucking bad will happen to them. Inside joke. I ain't saying nothing, man. I'm just saying a little bit of this, man. If my stuff start missing, man, something real fucking bad is gonna happen. An inside joke. It says, from verse 14, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. And they do have their portion in this life, man. You can't say that Esau doesn't have their portion in this life. That's why the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. He says, son, when you had everything. They had nothing. They had it hard. Lazarus had it hard. You had it good. And now Lazarus is going to take the place of the goodness and the partaking of the goodness and the riches of the earth. And you're going to partake in the hell that he went through. But even worse, because you dared put your hands on the people of the Lord, the eye of the Most High, the apple of the Most High's eye. So you will be dealt with. It says, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. Yeah, because they have everything. Scriptures say that they're wiser than Daniel. How the hell you think they were able to set up this infrastructure and this technology? Because the Lord gave it to them. He gave them that wisdom. He gave them the certain secrets, of the world. And ultimately, he gave them the power to rule. And that's why this empire is ruling, which is the empire of the Edomites, the final empire of the world that will rule prior to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai setting up their kingdom upon the earth. It says, they are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Yeah, so they have the power, they have the finance, and when one of them devils passes away, they leave that wealth to their children. See? So all of them are guilty, because they all had a part in this thing. And this is why them wacky-tacky Christians and plantation Christians do not want to acknowledge reincarnation, because if they acknowledge reincarnation, they would have to acknowledge that their forefathers would have to be dealt with, that they would have to suffer for the iniquities of their forefathers, because their forefathers are no longer here in those bodies that they committed the iniquity in, but they're here in the same flesh that came out of that sperm or that gene. Because the body may be different, but the spirit is not. The genealogy is not. And that's why they don't want to deal with that reincarnation issue. because they're scared of that reincarnation issue, because they know the ramifications behind it, behind them accepting that, and they know it's true. They know it's in the scriptures, but they play stupid. But only so long you can play stupid for, because the Most High is going to go forward whether you believe it or not. What if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and overcome when thou art judged. See? So ultimately, who's going to give, excuse me, who's going to give the justification? The Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. And that's what's going to deliver us from this devil. That's what's going to deliver us from this present evil world, from this present evil empire. Is when Yahushua comes back with the angels, the elect will be beamed up in the chariot, and the bodies will be changed. You know, the laws will be inserted, the stony heart taken out, the fleshy heart put in, the laws inserted into our inward parts, and with that comes everything else. And that's when corruption, which is the flesh, will be put away, and incorruption, which will be the new bodies, will be established. And that's how we'll be able to live forever, in an incorruptible body that doesn't die, that doesn't fall apart, that doesn't get diseased, that doesn't get bruised. You can't drown, you can't burn, none of that. And that's what's coming for those that wait for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Those are the blessings and the promises that the Lord promised those that remain faithful unto him, unto the end. You know? So now let's see where we at. Let's read a little bit in Isaiah 47, and then we can close it out with that. So Isaiah 47:2, take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the river. Because yeah, you international bankers, you're going to have to work, man. You're going to have it bad. There's going to be a real trading places, you know, that movie Trading Places. But the only difference is there's not going to be a bet that the international bankers make to make Jake rich. It's going to be the Most High that's going to make Jake rich. Because ultimately, you know, if you want to get technical, we are a representation of Job. And you see how Job was great and he fell and he was in a miserable condition and a hellified condition for a period of time. But at the end, what happened? He was justified and he was recompensed. And we're coming to that recompensation period. But the difference is Job eventually passed away. But we will not pass away. Peradventure we be the elect. But in the kingdom, all Israel shall be righteous and all Israel shall live forever. You know? So let's go back. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. And we're seeing that their nakedness being uncovered. Every day something's coming out in the news or in research of this devil and how he's being very manipulative and how he's manipulating the people and how he's doing a lot of underhanded shit that the people are catching hell from or being oppressed from. It says, yea, thy shame shall be seen. And we're seeing that because now this glorious status that you have is being found out how you got that glorious status, and it's starting to be a shame unto you. You that are survivors or the descendants of those other Edomites that were here doing all this underhanded shit. Now the shame of that is coming out on how you really got your riches, how you set up the ships to for the slaves that were set up by the Amalekites, that were owned by the Amalekites. Some of them were even shipped by the driven, for lack of a better word, by the Amalekites. And all of the other underhanded history of yours, that shameful spewing is coming out on you. So let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15. Woe unto them that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken, also that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. And you're looking upon the nakedness of the people of the Lord by allowing them to do the things that you put out there and said it was okay to do. Thou art filled with shame for glory. So this glorious status that you have, you're really being filled with shame, and the people are starting to see your shame. You know, just like at the end of the Wizard of Oz, when the dog Toto pulled back the curtain, and you see that old decrepit man, old Edomite man, his shame was uncovered, just like your shame is being uncovered by the different information that's coming out about you. And the main thing is these scriptures that's busting you up, man. These scriptures are a real detriment to you. You know, they're dismantling your empire bit by bit. They're dismantling your lies bit by bit. It says, drink thou also and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Yeah, because when you took people into captivity and you would strip them of their clothes, that was a shame. It's a shame that you took the people down, you took their goods, but then you made them strip naked. So you're going to be stripped down naked, so to speak. Not that you're going to be walking around naked, but you're going to be stripped of everything. You're going to be ashamed. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. Yeah, because the Lord is bringing his judgments upon you. And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And we're witnessing some of this shameful spewing being brought upon your glory. And eventually, in the kingdom, the whole world is going to be like, that's what it says, is this the man that made the kingdoms to shake? You know, this, you know, people are going to look at you with disdain, because now they hold, some people still hold you up in high regard. They still hold you up as being the Most High, as being Yahushua, as being the angels, as being the Israelites, as being these great entrepreneurs of the world, these great men of the world, you know, poets and musicians and all that. When you're nothing more than a base man, you're nothing more than cavemen. Your history at best has been a history of base caveman-like attitude or caveman-like behavior. And the greatness that you have today, you got it by rape, robbery, and murder. You did not get it by a right way. Deception, by your sword. So all of that is going to come, it's going to be like someone that's a plagiarizer. Somebody does a work and somebody comes around and plagiarizes it and acts like it's his, and the people are in awe of him because they've never heard the individual that actually did the original works. But then somebody else that studied come back and say, oh man, you plagiarized that from so-and-so and such and such. You know? That's what you are, Esau. You're the greatest plagiarizer on the planet Earth. And your days of plagiarizing are coming to an end. Oh Lord, this is gonna be beautiful, man. When your bitch, well, let me try not to cuss. When your ass go down. All right, so now where are we at? Going back, Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. Because when Yahushua comes back this time, he's not coming to meet you as a man. He's coming to meet you as in his glorious angelic state. It says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. That's right. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness. So shut up, ho. Because you've been spewing that rhetoric. Another inside joke. You've been spewing that rhetoric around the world. That tired ass Babylonian philosophical juice drinking GMO drink that you've been pushing around the world. That cocktail of nonsense. Salakia. Yeah, that cocktail of nonsense, man. That shit is coming to an end. It's over for you, Esau. Just give it up. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. You're no more going to be called the Lady of Kingdoms. You're no more going to be lauded as this great people that have this great empire, you're going to be, the truth is going to come out on you of who you really are and what you're really about and what your true nature is. It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. And that's still true to this day. You know, with the police shootings and killings, whether it's staged or not, you have a history of violence against the people of the Lord. That's why he said, matter of fact, we could finish out with that. Let's go to Ezekiel 35, and we could finish in Ezekiel 35. I'm going to hit some points. Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Why? Because that is your blessing. It says, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Yeah, because you went overboard. But this is what the Lord said. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood. That's why it says prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Because you're being prepared for blood for the things that you've done. I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. And that's why blood is pursuing you. And blood is about to catch up to you. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. See? So because you didn't hate to shed blood, blood is going to pursue you. And you have an insatiable appetite for blood, you Edomites. That's why it says, woe unto him that establishes a town by blood. So what do you think is going to happen? Your blood is going to have to be shed according to the law. This country is what's the word I'm looking for? This country is for the lack of better words, stained with the blood of the Native American Indians, with the blood of the so-called Seminole Indians, with the blood of the so-called Mexican Indians. The islands, Canada, Central America, South America, Mexico, are all stained by the blood of the Israelites there. And the scriptures speak about that in Revelation, about the blood of the saints. And that hasn't been dealt with. That hasn't been recompensed. That hasn't been paid off. That hasn't been made right. That hasn't been repaired. And that's why you're going into hardcore captivity to pay for all of your iniquities. And the first part of your payment of the iniquities is for your kingdom to be destroyed. The capital of your kingdom being America, Babylon the Great. The seat over there in Israel, the land of Israel that you stole, you know, that's going to be totally destroyed. And the whole world is going to restart all over again under a righteous vibration. How about that? It says, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So pretty much, that's what you're being prepared for, Esau. You're being prepared unto blood. You know, you're being prepared, you know, even though you got your agenda moving forward, you best believe that it's the Most High's agenda that he got going on, so that you can fulfill certain things, so that the Lord can turn around and judge you and destroy you. And that's going to be a beautiful thing to see. So with that, you know, I pray that your brothers have been edified. The water for all the comments on the comment board. And to the next time, I say shalom.